So today topic is the booting process. So what is the booting process? So from the last 2 days, we discussed about Linux and some of the fundamentals of the Windows. So these are the things we discussed. So coming to here, we understand some sort of understanding about what exactly the Linux and what is the Unix and how the file system architecture will be there and what is the way of processing. So some of the basic fundamental things we understand. So now coming to the reality. Now we understand about the basic Linux. Now what are the futures of the Linux and especially when we going with the s- s- uh, server mechanism. So the booting process is a very important. So what exactly the booting process? So any operating system that should be Windows or Linux or any operating system. So basically the booting process will help you out. It will define you the entire architecture. So architecture, whenever you people are installing any operating system, you would have seen that x86 architecture or ARCH some architecture, different terminologies. So this architecture is defining you that whether particular operating system following which methodology it is following. So here Linux also one of the operating system. So this Linux operating system also performing some kind of methodology. What is that methodology? And how we are going to understand how the server is starting and building itself, how the mechanism and stage by stage, step by step process, how it will be happening. So first of all, what is a booting process? So booting process is a nothing but, for example, we are all our Windows users by default. So why I am always comparing with the Windows in the initial stages means, okay, so at the time of learning any new subject or maybe upgradation time, it's always a better to compare the known one. So that is the reason some of the cases I'm comparing with the Windows to understand. Okay, so here the when Windows operating system, for example, you have a laptop right now. So once you power on the laptop, so what exactly will going to be happen? What you can see that? Anyone? Once you power on the power button in laptop, so what you can see that?
At kernel will start.
Okay, some kernel starting. Okay, you will see that BIOS first stage, right?
Hmm.
So, for example, Windows operating system also, you will see the terminology called the BIOS. Okay, if you people are using the desktops, so sometimes your keyboard is not connected properly, your mouse is not connected properly. Some of the specific situations, it will prompt you that there is some IO issue. Okay, your keyboard is not connected. If you want to switch means press F10, press F9 or press escape. Have you seen this error anytime?
Yes, yes.
So this is most of the times it will be happening into the desktop environment at the time of your college or at the time of your having the desktop servers, internet centers. You would have seen this one. So what the people will do, they will unplug and they will plug it and they will restart the services. Otherwise, they will reboot the service. Most of the time after plugging, it will be pick up. So this is the methodology. So here, going with the Windows, first of all, BIOS is a something black screen you are skiing. The black screen prompt you different type of the numbers and something. And once it is completed, immediately you people are able to see in that, okay, some graphical user interface in between, okay, some OS loading something, prompting it will come. And immediately within a fraction of seconds, you people are able to see that end user environment. End user environment means right now whatever we are working on, so that is the end user environment means I can able to access my operating system, I can able to access my hardware, I can able to perform the whatever the things I need, everything I can able to perform it. So here the fundamental thing is that in between what exactly will happen means once you started the thing, press the power button. Once you press the power button from GUA, in between what exactly happening. So that will define you that entire architecture. So this concept is a very important. It's not a fundamental concept. From here, troubleshootings will come into the picture. Whenever you are attending any interview, if the guy is from the fundamental means, he will start the question with the booting process. Why means you need to understand how to, for example, you people are having the bike or car. For example, when you are going with a driving license, so the fundamental thing, okay, the fundamental thing, the DL person will ask you that how to start the car or how to start the bike, okay, and how to place the gear. The basic fundamental things he will ask you means it will start from the fundamental aspect means that will define you that whether you have a understanding of thing or environment. So here in in the same way in Linux environment also Linux environment also the booting process will be happening. So this booting process will be happening into the multiple stages. So in Windows environment, most of the times, but it will be happening both of the sites. It will be happening in fraction of seconds, within a 5 minutes, within a 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, not a more than a minute. Entire your operating system will be loaded. For example, you have a bike. Once you done the self start, automatically what it will going to be happen? Immediately your bike will be start and it is ready for the situation. Means your bike is ready. So the moment of the time, how much of time it will take you? Maximum 1 minute or less than a minute. So that's the same type of the situation here also. Nothing but your operating system will be under the user environment, it will be getting ready within a fraction of seconds. So here booting process will be happening. How the booting process will be happening? What are the stages? For example, once you power on button, so I power on my server. So once I power on, immediately it will be going to the BIOS. So the general architecture of the booting process will be like this. Nothing but power on button, it is nothing but integrated check. So integrated check will define you that, for example, this is the one where your operating system going to be validated. Means, for example, what are the input devices are there, what are the output devices are there, and what are the devices are it is needed to be connected. Everything the validation means kernel. Yesterday I said you about the kernel. So the kernel is nothing but operating system boss. So it will prompt you that, okay, it will give the responsibility to the BIOS. Okay, do the validation and get ready with the things. So here also it will be do the validation and get ready with the things. Means automatic checking. For example, today, okay, this person came. It's not coming. It's coming. It's coming. Nothing but there is a check. It will going to check it. Nothing but failure means it will prompting as a failure. There is only two status will be there. One is that failed. Second status is that okay. So if any services is failed, okay, it will report to the kernel. It will report to the kernel with a status this particular service is failed. Okay means it will same report report to the kernel and move next step. So it is not stopping at all. It is moved to the next step. So this is the fundamental of thing. So what exactly the booting process will be happening? So any operating system, the BIOS is standing for basic input and output system. Nothing but the basic input output system where your system is prompting are validating all your input and output devices. The input and output devices are your pen drives, your laptop, your monitor, okay, your keyboard, your mouse, and each and everything, internal hard disk also. Everything it will going to be validate at this stage. So this is a very important. Most of the times your operating system is corrupted or your any one of the services are not prompting means BIOS won't allow you to move on. It will halt you at this moment. Your kernel said that don't proceed. Immediately it will halt you at this moment and it is not proceeding at all. So that is the reason interview questions also people will ask you that if your server is failed at booting level, what you will do? For that one, first of all, we need to have a little bit of understanding of booting process. So that is the reason booting process is a very important. So once you power on, then it will go to the BIOS. It will identify the thing and it will validate all the IO devices. That's fine. The next stage is that, so the next stage is that, okay, we need to go for the MBR. So what is a MBR? Master Boot Recorder. So MBR is a prompting for Master Boot Recorder. So what is a MBR standing for? Nothing but, especially for example, let it be, again we are coming to the same Windows environment. So let it be your Windows laptop is having 1 TB of hard disk. Let it be some 32 GB of RAM. It's a very high end. But the problem here is that whenever your operating system is, once you power on the button, immediately your hard raw devices. What is the raw devices? For example, your hard disk and your RAM. These are the services not coming automatically. Means immediately they won't provide the services. It will take you just some buffer time to start it. So that is the reason what the people will do. The kernel will take you the responsibility and it will keep the one person called MBR. This MBR capacity is that 512 KB bytes. 512 KB bytes. So this guy what exactly will do means this person will holding off important IO which need to be bring up. For example, let it be once you power on the button, your Windows laptop. So coming to your Windows laptop, C drive is a very important, right? Why C drive is a very important? Because C drive, all the, your configuration files will be there. So that is a very important from the operating system prospect, not from the user prospect. From the operating system prospect, C drive is a automatically need to be loaded. But in C drive, so usually what we are doing, we are installing number of application databases, backups into the C drive. So immediately it is not picking up all third party related. Means for example you install the VLCC player. It is not giving the importance to the VLCC player. The primary objective is that I need to bring the my operating system. So that is what the kernel is thinking. So what the kernel will do, it will go into prompt you that entire C drive, there is a 10 lines of code we need to be take care. The 10 lines consisting of your image, your disk, maybe some of additional things, which is kernel is feeling very important, which is kernel is feeling very important. Those set of the things it will going to be prompted over there. So once it is a prompted, then MBR will act like a this MBR will act like a temporary RAM. So this act like a temporary RAM means initial stage, as I said, you don't have the RAM, you don't have the hard disk, so you don't have anything. But the MBR will act like a temporary RAM. It will start the services. That same case with your bike also. See, when you have a bike with whatever may be the capacity, 320 cc, 200 cc, 150 cc, or whatever the features, but you need to start the engine, right? So if you want to start the engine means we have two options. One is that we are going with a self start. Okay, the self start, what it will help you out, it will give the one spark, immediately your engine will start. Otherwise, you go with the kicker. Means both of the situations, whether the manual, otherwise by using the self start or whatever it may be. In both of the situations, that particular parameter, self start or kicker, the time prompt will be maximum 1 minute or 2 minutes or little bit of time only. Once your engine is started, do we need the self start kicker? No, right? Means your operating system also in the same way. So to start up the services, to start up the push one step ahead, we need a MBR. This MBR act like a your bike self start or kicker. So this will help you out to start your server services automatically. So here the MBR once it is started. So here coming to the back, once I power on, BIOS will come into the picture. BIOS will validating all the IO related operations. Once it is a mode, I will move to the MBR. MBR will be taking care of the responsible to wake up the my services. It act like a temporary RAM. So once MBR is completed means as per the diagram, okay, we are going to the grub prompt. So this grub is a very major feature into the Unix environment. So, for example, before going to the grub, somewhat we discussed about this point, but we were going to revise once again. If you go into the Windows environment, so we discussed one point here, versions. For example, let it be your Windows is running with right now 9 version, running with a 9 version. So Microsoft given the update. So we have a 10 version came into the picture. So version 10 came into the picture. If you want to means you can go and upgrade. So what is the next? So what is the next course of action? Let it be I'm willing to upgrade. So immediately what I will do, I'm upgrading my server to the my server to the Windows 10. So once it is upgraded, automatically there is some sort of actions will be happening. So the 9 version components, everything is going to be erased, right? That's a true only, right? So 9 version entire
Yes.
thing it will going to be erased. Means your server, your laptop will be coming with a 10 version. Okay. So I don't have any problem at this moment of the time. Let it be think from the business perspective. If you're going with the business perspective, let it be you are having the client call some financial client. Let it be HDFC. This is the particular financial client. So the HDFC operations are 24 by 7. They are giving the very importance to the availability of services. Services in the sense like at any time, midnight, night, 2 o'clock also you can do the transfers, you can do the adding, you can do the your actions, you can able to log in, you can able to access, you can request for the loan, you can request for the documents or some kind of operations. Okay, so there is a lot of things will we can go it into the non-business hours also. So here the thing is that let it be there is one fine Monday. Okay. So you promptly you are saying that okay, earlier the server is running with a Windows 9 server. Okay. So now you prompted for Windows 10. Okay. So you upgraded the server. But the thing is that you upgraded when? Let it be you upgraded on Saturday. It's Saturday or Sunday. Usually Saturday, Sunday is a non-business hours. So in the moment of the time only we are installing the all upgradation. So our upgradation time went everything fine. So Monday we got some bugs. What is the issue? So lot of the banking person saying that the application is not prompting, not accessing properly. Means, for example, if you're trying to log into the internet banking, it is taking very long time. After logging also, the OTP is not taking very long time. Our services are delay, and sometimes you are getting the timeout error. Means your application latency. So this is we are receiving oftenly into the production environment. So that is the reason the terminology is very important. Application latency we are receiving often. So immediately the banking person said that to the server team. So you people are went for the upgrade, right? Okay. So right now it is a business hours and that is a, let it be first day of month. It is a very big day. We don't want to be go with the latest version. Can you revert it? Can you revert the operating system? So reverting of operating system probably it will take you time. So maybe there is some possibility we can do it. But if there is a 10 version, if it's corrupted, it is not sorting out. There is a some bug issue. You got a some blue screen. You are not able to like log 4j we received, right? So same thing, you are not able to sort it out. In that time, what we will do? We are going with a methodology called we are not able to revert. We need to fix it. We need to fix it. Obviously, I am going to place some new image. I'm going to repair it, but it will take you the some moment of the time. I have to do it. So till that moment, customer need to be wait. Our business is going to be lost. So to overcome or to postpone these bugging issues to the later on, first we need to brought up the business, brought up the server. How we are going to do it means in Windows we are not having that particular mechanism. So the grub is one of the mechanism. It will holding the capacity of the grub will help you out too. So the grub will help you out to keeping off your resources. Nothing but, for example, in the same Linux side, you have a 9 version, you upgraded to 10. So the grub will keep the minimum 6 older versions. That much of the capacity is there. 6 older version means let it be 9 will be there, 10 will be there, let it be 8, 7, 6, 5 like that. Means it is holding off all image. It's a something like a junction. So this junction will be consisting of all roads. So here right now user is planning to start with the 10 version. Right now user is planning to start with the 10 version. So well and good. So now the same situation came into the picture and we are not able to sort out the issue. The user decided that we want to move it to the 9 version because we got some issues into the 10 version. Immediately what we will do, yes, we can do it. Once we reboot the server, once we reboot the server, it will go to the BIOS, it will pass the MBR. Once MBR came, it will come to the grub prompt. So we need to here select which version we need to do. Means for example here 9 version is near means I'm going to select a 9 version. I will boot up the server. So whatever the issue with the 10 version is, I'm going to fix it into the non-business hours. Non-business hours means let it be evening 6 o'clock or Saturday, Sunday. In Saturday, Sundays, I will give you the one banner to all. What is a banner? Nothing but So yeah, usually we are receiving some kind of notification, right, or mails. So this Saturday, 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock, the HDFC services will be not that much of active. So please don't try to transfer the any amount, or if you transfer, if you're facing any issue, so reach out to the some bank or some branch. So this kind of the notification means we are giving the awareness to the consumers stating that we have some maintenance activity. So the consumer also going to be ready with the things. If you want to transfer means he will do it before that or after, not at the moment of the time. We are literally manually reducing the traffic. You got a point, right? So here nothing but when coming to the Windows, this grub will be prompt you that it will holding off information. Holding off. The grub is nothing but what exactly operating system, where the place. It will be holding off exact image. It's something like our junction. Okay, like a Y junction, X junction type. Okay, which version you want to go it, whether 10 version, 9 version, 7 version, 8 version. It's something like it is holding off all the images. Whatever the version you are planning to go, you can go. So that is what we can do it. So that is the what the advanced features of Linux. So this grub question will compulsory you, they will ask you into the interview question. So this booting process, every step is a very important. Okay. So the next stage is that. So once you decided the grub, then it will go to the kernel. One kernel. So now you decided, for example, you were traveling A to B. You were traveling A to B. Okay. So you reach to the one junction. So here you have a two ways. One is that you need to go by highway. Second thing is that by bypass. So there is a two ways are there. So immediately you are going to take a decision. Let it be I need to go with the highway. So otherwise I need to go with the bypass. So the decision is end user, whatever the thinking, the decision. So whatever the decision, I am going with a highway. This highway, the kernel or route, the kernel or route. Route in the sense the particular highway route. The Google map also it will showing you that okay, if you are selecting the highway, by using the highway how you can reach to the your destination, it will show you that. If you are selecting the bypass, by bypass also how you can show that, it will show you promptly showing the both of the thing. So here the nature is that coming to the technically, once we selected the grub, what are the version I am selecting, that version image is going to be loaded into the kernel. Kernel is what I said. Kernel is the main code content. The main code content is going to be load into the this situation. Once it is a load, then it will be moving to the init phase. So init is nothing but the next stage of operating system. So it will be, for example, if you're coming to here, till now MBR also some data is there and kernel also some data will be there. Everything will be initialization, nothing but it will start sync and start the services here. It will sync up and start the services here. So once these are coming completed, then go to the run levels. So run levels are very important. So into the production environment also the terminology. So what is the run levels? For example, so yesterday and day before yesterday we discussed about the one point. So nothing but Linux will be having command line interface and graphical user interface also. So the run levels will be we are having. We have around calm down. These are the run levels. So there is a seven run levels will be there. So here run level 0, run level 1, 2 is for the maintenance purpose, 3, 4 also nothing but the same administration purpose, 5, 6. These are the different run levels. Means what is a run level means? The run level is the kind of the program. It will prompt you that, okay, how to start, how to stop. Nothing but the code will be moving on. For example, you want to shut down the server. Okay, you can go and trigger whether shutdown command, or you can go and trigger directly triggering init 0. So when you trigger this command, indirectly it will prompt you init 0 only. Means there is a some link will be established to the init 0. So this run level will define you that what is the module of action I need to do it. Nothing but run level init 0 will define you that shutdown, power off. Run level 1 is for the rescuing the purpose. Means, for example, sometime back we said you right, your operating system is halt into the somewhere. You need to repair it. In that time, normal user access won't be there because your operating system is not properly loaded. Maybe you need to perform the some core of admin related stuff. In that time, we are going with a run level mechanism. This run level mechanism will help you out to start and stop and do the modification accordingly. So there is a lot of practical will show you on this thing. There is we have a document if you want to means you can go through into MIS miscellaneous document. We have a a lot of option to reboot the operating system, root password reset. There is a lot of things will be there. So run level 3 is nothing but multi-user. Multi-user means so here your server will be running multi-user target. It is running into the command line based. Server is running into the command line. Run level 5 is a graphical user. So here in production environment, the companies will decide you that which level, which run level we need to move on. So in my production companies, okay, so most of my servers are we are using the command line interface only. We are not having any graphical interface till now. So we don't have the access to the graphical user interface. Means how the person will do the tuning. So this tuning also very important. If you want to switch the run level from the 3 to 5, 5 is nothing but graphical, like how your Windows server will be there. Like that, your server will be there into the 5 level. So here, the thing is that whenever we are performing these things, we have to be go with proper execution changes. Okay, so this is your server will be loading at fifth level. Six is nothing but reboot. If you want to reboot the server, you can go for the reboot command. So you can go for the like a reboot command or init 6. That's the same case how we define into the shutdown place. So here these are the booting process. So if you come across once again, so the booting process will be defining it is a very important into the production environment. So the booting process will help you out. Okay, first it will once you power on the server, it will prompt you for the BIOS. Once a BIOS is loaded, your MBR will be loaded, your grub will be loaded, and grub will define you that which kernel you need to be selected. That kernel you are going to be select. Once you selected the kernel, then it will prompt you that okay, your init phase will be moving on. The init phase, all the sync up will be going to be happening. All the updates will be get ready with the things. Once it is a get ready with the things, it will be moving on to the run levels. So this run levels is a kind of the mechanism where your services or servers are promptly working. Nothing but at run levels stage only we will get the access to the server. Means that the same case happening into the Windows also. In Windows also, once you power on, till you get the status, it will take you the 5 minutes or 5 seconds, right? In this 5 seconds, this many stages will be completing into the your architecture wise. Hope it's clear. Any doubts? ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయా?
Sir, this kernel execute init. Can you explain this once?
Kernel execute init. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the kernel is defining that, for example, yeah, this init phase will be there, right? Init is nothing but first service. It is the first service. It is starting from the server. So this init
Okay.
phases will define you that the super block, nothing but once your grub prompt completed, the first service of the nothing but a kernel will be init. So this init services initiate all your init services. Nothing but what are the services we need to be take up, what are the run levels we need to be start up, and what are the server level we need to be major core of objective, administration related, everything, it will be starting from the here only. So that is the reason some production issues also there is a lot of times your grub prompt, your server will be, this init service will be corrupted. It will be halt into the grub prompt. So we are doing some troubleshooting, nothing but sometimes this image is missing. Sometimes, okay, the disk pattern is missing. Okay, in grub usually you will see this one. Okay, sometimes this disk was corrupted. Okay, these are the things also we are going to be fixing upon. Then only your init will come into the picture. Okay, so init will be there, and that is the primary service we are calling as a first service.
Mhm.
Any other doubts?
No, sir. And one more thing, you
Hmm.
said that when this, can you show that the blocks? 6 steps are there now. So in one of the steps, MBR, so
Hmm.
there you are saying some temporary RAM will there to
Mhm.
start the
It's
process,
not a
right?
temporary RAM.
Okay.
It act like a temporary RAM. Means, for example,
Okay.
it's the same your self start. Okay, you want to start your bike. Whatever the capacity of
Hmm.
the bike capacity, 220 cc, 330 cc, immediately within a fraction of second it not start, right? It needs some push up.
Hmm.
That push up is a nothing but MBR. Means self
Mhm.
start. Means your
Uh,
hard disk,
but
RAM won't come into the picture immediately. Your peripherals.
hmm,
Yeah.
hmm, 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 hmm. But many times in Windows case, we said we put the SSD, so our boot time will raise, right? So,
Uh, so
so
their
that
SSD act
SSD is
like
the
a,
peripheral, right?
yes, that SSD is a nothing but act like a temporary RAM in Windows MBR.
Okay.
Any of the operating system, okay, so it will create you internally. It will create you internally these services. Okay. So some of the cases, especially into the Linux, this MBR is a promptly designed for that purpose only. Okay. So operating system, any operating system, whether Linux or Unix or Mac OS, okay, the basic architecture is that some of the cases they are defining, some of the cases inbuilt they will push up the services. But coming to the Linux, we
Hmm.
have a special service. They are designed for this purpose only. Nothing but they named with the MBR. Here, not
Okay.
only starting of services, it will load the things also, right? What are the primary things
Hmm.
are there? It will be load the primary objective also. Master boot recorder, the capacity is 512 KB bytes. Any doubts, other? Srini,
Done.
Nagu, ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయా? శ్రవణ్ గారు,
No.
Kiran, you have any doubts? Hope all clear. This is a very
Yeah.
important. Okay. Booting process అదేమంటారు కదా when you are starting with the ABCD like this is a okay, this booting process compulsory you will receive the question. If you are not explaining the booting process, like how many steps are there, how many stages are there, at least the basic fundamental also, they will take a judgmental decisions. Okay, so that is the reason. So please make sure that be clear on the aspect. Okay. So apart from that, there is a one more thing we need to be okay. So everyone having the VMware? Anyone not having? I will show you the some lab setup. So in this document, already we have a installation process will be there. If you go through here, so you need to be download the operating system. Okay. So if you want to download the operating system, so from the VMware perspective, if you want to download the VMware from the Broadcom or outside also, for example, let me show you that. So this is the website of the Broadcom. So this is the parent company of the nothing but VMware right now. So right now you need to be sign in. If you not having the register means register. It's the same thing. Nothing but how we are registering some accounts, right? In the same way, your basic fundamental details you need to give. So here you need to create a credentials. Once you create a credentials, everything it is the documents are there. Everything here documents are there. Okay, where we need to go, where we need to stop. So this is the view you are receiving. Once you receive the view, go to the my dashboards, sorry, my downloads. Here, so right now we are going with the latest version. Okay, probably in internet you will receive the older version also. If you receive means that's a well and good. Okay, otherwise I'm going with a free version. So that could be anything. Workstation Pro. So we need to install the VMware Workstation Pro. So this Workstation Pro is act like a nothing but this one. So here you will be seeing the lot of the options. Go for the Windows only. Okay, so here Windows we have a lot of the options will be there. Which version you want to select? You can select anything, but don't go for the latest version. Some of the cases latest version will be having the some issues. Okay, go with the at least -1 or -2. Okay, actually the 17 version having the some issue. 16 version if you're receiving means that's a well and good. This 17x we have some file system issues we will receive. I will show you at the time of the going. If you download 16x, if you get it right now, 16x is not available. Okay, so for the testing purpose, we can download any one of the version. Directly you need to click and you need to be download. So just you need to be click and you need to be download. Automatically it is downloading. So once it is downloaded, automatically you need to go for so that VMware is ready. Now you need to go for the operating system. So operating system also right now I'm using the Oracle. So m.oracle. So no need of login anything here. Okay. Go to the m.oracle. So I'm using this version. m.oracle, no need to be login or no need to be sign up anything here. So come to here, we are having a lot of the versions. Okay, so this is the x86 architecture. That x86 architecture only we need to be download. Here we have a lot of versions. Go with a some -2, -3. For example, we are going with a 9.6 or 9.5. Just you need to be click on here. Okay, nothing but the full ISO image you need to be download. Automatically it will be downloading. So since I'm not downloading. So once it is ready, then you need to go for the installation. So here two things we need to do it. One is that we need to download the VMware. Second thing is that we need to download the operating system. So two things you need to be downloaded. Once you downloaded, go to the steps. Here everything the documents are there. You need to be double click on the VMware particular service. Go to the next and next you need to install the particular VMware. Once you install, it will be appear in this way. Once it is available, then we need to be create a operating system. Nothing but once it is created, your VMware lab will be there like this. It will be appear like this. Once it is created, you have to be click on create a new virtual machine. So go for the typical only. And here you need to select the image of whatever you downloaded. Select that image. Next, this one, okay. So here give the name. The 20 GB is the mandatory. Go with the 20 GB only. Okay. So it will, the server is loading. So it will take you the minimum of 30 minutes. Okay. So don't try for the installation. If you try for the installation, well and good. Okay, if not, here already documents are there. Just follow the documents and try to be installed. So try to be installed. Then we will start the practicals. So this is our lab setup. We have to be set up. We are creating the number of servers and we are accessing the servers from here. We are performing all the type of administration access. So it's a free of cost. No need to be pay for these labs. Okay, we can build up into our own environment. Minimum capacity need to be there. 4 GB or 5 GB of RAM and your server need to be support the virtualization. Means your laptop need to be support the virtualization. Maximum as of now, all the cases, all the laptops it will support. Okay. So just follow the document. The documents are already uploaded. Follow the document and do it. Okay. So Monday we will going to explain you that how to install the operating system and how to perform the some of the basic commands and all. Everything we will going to be perform. Then here we are going to the core of the subject. The core of the subject will be all our major issues. Everything is a major issue. We are going in deeper of the subject. If you can see that here, every subject will be having the minimum number of documents will be there. Practically, we need to do it. Okay. So please be ready with the lab. Okay. Just install it. Okay. Then we can connect on Monday. Okay. Any doubts?
Yes.
No problem. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.
Pawan,
Thank you.
is this cover our RS CSA
Oracle Linux also,
syllabus?
Oracle, yeah, RHCS syllabus only. Have you gone through the syllabus?
Okay, okay. No, no, not yet, but
Please
checking
gone
that.
through the syllabus.
Hmm.
We are performing NFS, Samba, okay, all hostings.
Mhm.
Just go through it.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.